Welcome to this year's reveal to our 47th David L. Underwood Memorial Lecture recipient. Yay! Thank you all for being present with us today. I also want to thank my colleagues who serve on the Underwood Committee with me, Steve Elin and Sharon North. Additionally, a hearty appreciation to Shanda Walker, Shatana Stewart, Aaron Linder, and Muhan, just one name like Prince, and Dr. Elizabeth Perkins for helping with logistics and setting up for today's announcement, and so much more. I am Miranda Wilson, the 46th David L. Underwood Memorial Lecture recipient. I am delighted and honored to participate in this announcement. First, let me give you a little background on Dean Underwood. If you haven't already heard, David Underwood was born near Ava, Illinois, and moved to St. Louis in 1926. He attended elementary and high schools in St. Louis and Deloge, Missouri. After 2 years in the Navy, Dean Underwood enrolled at Central Missouri State College, where he earned his undergraduate degrees. He earned a master's degree in English from the University of Missouri in 1951. Dean Underwood taught English at McKinley High School until he was transferred to Southwest High School as head of the English department. In 1962, he became English department chairman at Beaumont High School. After teaching for the community college on a part-time basis, he joined the Florissant Valley faculty in 1963. He served as chair of the Humanities Communications Division and later Associate Dean of Instruction. He was appointed Dean of Instruction in July of 1967 and served until his death in 1975. David L. Underwood was known for his love of education. He was deeply concerned with the welfare of students and staff alike. His dedication went beyond office hours, and he tirelessly gave of his time and talents to further the educational mission at Florissant Valley. Recipients of the Underwood Memorial Lecture Award demonstrate that same dedication and commitment. Chosen by a committee of peers, recipients exhibit excellence in instruction and a genuine humanistic concern for students, faculty, staff, and education. Now, let's find out a bit about our recipient. Bet you can't guess who it is. While in the 4th grade, our recipient volunteered to memorize and present Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg's address to the entire elementary school. A woman sitting next to the recipient's mother leaned over during the presentation and said to her, "That student is going to be a great orator one day." This recipient served a semester as president of the 6th grade class and served a semester as the president of the 6th grade science club. Our 47th recipient performed more pull-ups than anybody in the 6th grade, beating the school record by 1 pull-up. Our recipient tied for the lowest golf score in competition as a senior in high school. And our recipient's mother taught art classes at Florissant Valley, and the recipient's oldest brother attended Flo Valley as well. A self-portrait of our recipient in dark sunglasses was used on a bottle of Fast Eddie's muscle car polish. For their first paid writing job, $10 an article, was for a bowling tips column in the Mount Olive Herald, Illinois newspaper. The column was titled "The Strike Lane." Later in their career, our 47th Underwood recipient wrote columns for various newspapers, such as the First Capital News in St. Charles and the Hampton News in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Additionally, our recipient penned a column for the largest hair site in the world called hairboutique.com, where the articles appeared next to stories and photos of famous models, celebrities, and movie stars. The most influential book in this recipient's career was the business marketing classic, Positioning, The Battle for Your Mind by Al Ries and Jack Trout. And finally, our recipient received a perfect 1,000 score on their promotion file to full professor for the final comment on the promotions committee under significant weaknesses. It read, this person has not been cloned. Because I know who this person is, I understand that comment. Please help me congratulate our 47th David L. Underwood Memorial Lecturer, Dr. Howard Rosenthal. I wish I had applause. Dr. Rosenthal is the lead faculty for Human Services on the Florissant Valley campus. He is beloved by his students and colleagues alike. Dr. Rosenthal was a student here at Flo Valley, taught classes beginning in the 1980s, and joined on as full-time continuing faculty in 1994. Everyone, our 47th recipient, Dr. Howard Rosenthal.
Thank you, folks. Hey, I brought somebody with me to share the award.
Dr. Rosenthal, you're muted.
Now, is that coming through loud and clear? All right. All right, I'll say this second time. I brought somebody with me here. Let's get that in the camera. That's Fast Eddie's Muscle Car Polish. That's yours truly with dark sunglasses on that cover. Now, let me say something, folks. I can't believe it. You probably thought the winner was going to be a PE teacher or a science and technology teacher, maybe a history, English, world communications teacher, maybe even somebody teaching business. What about human services? Now, don't feel badly if you didn't get the clues that it was me, because my own son read the exact same clues that LaRonda just read, and he said, and I quote, my son Patrick, that's you, Dad? Really? Okay, so it was a tough one this year. Okay, so let's get this thing started. My name is Howard Rosenthal. I am a proud graduate of Florissant Valley, and yes, I was a student at the college when Dean Underwood roamed the halls of this great educational institution. I love Flo Valley. You can't imagine how grateful I feel to have won this award. Graduating from this college has allowed me to go on and do everything in the field I ever dreamed of doing. There's so many people I want to thank, so I'm going to keep this really short, folks. First, the Underwood family, who has been so supportive of this award over the years. Next, all the past Underwood recipients, which reads like a who's who in education. And special thanks to those who were kind enough to link up with us today. Hats off to Dr. Elizabeth Perkins. And when you work with her, you can see why she is the president. Shantana Stewart and Aaron Lindner are also amazing. In fact, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give all of them a 15. Efficiency personified. In fact, if you look at those three folks I just mentioned and try to imagine how much work they did to put this together, multiply it by about 50, and you'll have an answer how much they did to put this presentation together today. Finally, the former Underwood recipients, Steve Allen, Sharon North, and my uber wonderful social science colleague, Miranda Wilson, who have guided me every step of the way. And last but not least, my wonderful deans, Janice Nezer-Chu at the Flo Valley campus and Dr. Deborah Harper LeBlanc at Forest Park campus. All right. So I want to, since I'm a teacher, I want to teach you something now. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. Okay. When you win the Underwood nowadays, you don't get an email that says, you've got mail, you won the Underwood. No, that's not how it works. Okay. Usually a former recipient tells you you won the Underwood in kind of a secretive, cryptic, creative way. So here's my story. This was a few weeks ago, and we had just had a terrible ice storm. I'm sure a lot of you remember this. And Miranda Wilson contacted me and said, Howard, I really need to talk to you. It's really important. And I think we need to do it face to face. And I don't want to do it virtually. I don't want to do it over the email. And I think we need to do it today. My first thought, oh my God, one of my corny jokes finally got me in trouble in the classroom. And my days at Flo Valley as a teacher are numbered. So it was really treacherous outside. And in fact, I had used 4 different ice melts in my driveway to no avail. Every one made it a little bit worse. Okay. So I got in touch with Miranda and I said, Miranda, we can't do it today. It's too treacherous. I'm worried about your safety. Okay. And as soon as I got off the phone, I started feeling guilty. Okay. My family is kind of a higher education family. I don't know if you know this or not, but my wife, Patty, is head of field work education and the social work, graduate social work at UMSL, and she's also a dean. And I might mention this too while I've got the mic, so to speak. She also won their Chancellor's Excellence Award, which is pretty much like our Underwood Award. So anyway, I consulted Patty, and Patty said, look, I know Miranda is a good friend of yours, and Howard, if she feels she can make it over here, let her come over. So I called Miranda back. I said, Miranda, I changed my mind. Come on over. Come right over. Okay. So I opened the front door. I waited outside. And in short order, Miranda's big, beautiful SUV came careening into my driveway. There was only one problem. In about 2.25 seconds, Miranda's SUV went from going straight up the driveway to turning completely sideways, and it was totally blocking my driveway. Then I saw her throw the car into park, and I thought, good move, Miranda, until I noticed that all 4 wheels were locked, and it was still rolling down my driveway, the car, into the street. At that point, I opened my front door and yelled into the house, better get the guest room ready. Miranda Wilson is hunkering down and she's going to be spending the winter with us, and better prepare a second room. That's right, she has a daughter, Serenity. Anyway, somehow Miranda was able to get her car situated in the street, and she was able to walk on my lawn and came into the house. And so she started telling me some difficulties she was having with a great program she works with called Color of Change, which is a social justice program that helps African Americans strengthen their voice in society. Now, I noticed while Miranda was telling me the problem, she had two shirts that were folded up like beach towels in her lap, okay, very neatly. And so she said, Howard, you've done so much to help this program. I want you to have a Color of Change t-shirt, but there's only one problem. One of the shirts I have is a medium and one's a large. So I want to give you one of the shirts and I want you to try it on. It's important we give you the right size shirt. And I thwarted her. I didn't know this at the time. I said, Miranda, look, I'm one of those lucky people. I can wear a medium, I can wear a large. You got an extra large, I'll wear that. And Miranda said, no, Howard, I want this shirt to look good. So let's do this. If you're not going to try it on, and I said, why would I try it on? I've got all these winter clothes on. And Miranda said, well, you don't have to try it on, but at least unravel the shirt and put it next to you. We'll see if it looks like it's going to fit. So I said, okay, I can drink to that, non-alcoholic, of course. So I unraveled the shirt, and as I did, a card fell, a little, maybe 3x5 note card, fell out of the shirt. And Miranda said, Howard, did you notice a note card just fell out of the shirt? And I went, yeah, I did. And Miranda goes, don't you think you better read it? And I went, no, I can't. She said, why can't you, Howard? And I said, Miranda, it could be something confidential for you. Now, you got to understand, folks, I teach human services, which is kind of like applied psychology, social work. Practically everything we talk to clients about is confidential. And you know, there's this saying, you know, you can take the professor out of human services, but you can't take human services out of the professor. So Miranda said, Howard, let me ask you something. Do you really think if it was a big confidential message for me, they would have put it in a shirt? And I went, guess you're right. So I picked up the card off the floor. Actually, I have one of them here. I don't know if you can see it because of the enhanced background, but the card says, congratulations, Howard. You are the 47th David L. Underwood Lecture recipients, with enough exclamation points to capsize a Carnival cruise ship. I was speechless and humble. Now, I want to tell you a quick, relevant story from all the way back in 1988. All right? I know some of you weren't born in 88, but you could have been. All right, so let's go back to 1988. At the time, I was a part-time adjunct instructor, like many of you, and I was working with an angelic lady that ran the human services program named Jeanette E. Kimbrough, who incidentally snared the Underwood herself way back in 1991. So I had worked with Jeanette. I'd also done a lot of lecturing, mental health lecturing at Flow Valley. In those days, the enrollment was so big, I'd come out to lecture. We'd pack every seat in the theater and then some. So anyway, here's the relevant story. I came home one night and I brought my mail inside and I saw an envelope from good old Larson Valley. And I opened the envelope and it said, Dear Dr. Rosenthal, You have just won. And I'm embarrassed to admit this, folks, but honesty compels me after all these years. I stopped reading. And I said, well, just stop reading, folks. I am one of these people. It's never won anything in my life. Okay, well, I take that back. I won a sandwich once at Schlotsky's, but that's not saying a lot. So what I did next, it's embarrassing, but I'm telling you a true story. I took the letter from Flo Valley and I threw it into my waste can, my trash receptacle. But as the letter was making its sojourn from my hand into the trash receptacle, I noticed a huge number on the letter. I pulled the letter out and said, that's kind of interesting. What does that say? And the letter said, you are the recipient, the 1988 recipient of the Florissant Valley Hall of Fame Award. Your chances of winning this award are 1 in 160,000. I was stunned. I called Ms. Kimbrough on the phone. I said, Jeanette, is this some kind of a scam? And she said, no, it's not, Howard. You just won the highest student award you can win. And there's only a handful of students who have won this award. And so by winning the Underwood today, I kind of feel like an athlete who's won the Super Bowl and the World Series. I'm dubbing it the Grand Slam of education at Florissant Valley. And Tom Brady, if you're watching this YouTube video, I'm sure you're not, but if you are, eat your heart out, okay? You might want to trade those resistance bands in for some scholarly articles and books, okay? And I'm also going to ask the administration today publicly if maybe we can look into resurrecting the Hall of Fame, because I don't think that the colleges had it for years, and it was a great thing to have. Okay, so I want to close this up because most speakers take 5 to 7 minutes. I just took 12.5, if I recall. Okay, and so what I'm going to say is this. What's the moral of this story? The moral of the story is if Miranda Wilson comes sliding into your driveway, try the t-shirt on, and please, pretty please, with sugar on top, if a card falls out, read the fine print. You might have won the Underwood. Thank you so much, and it's such an honor to be here, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. And thanks to everybody for joining us today. I was remiss earlier in acknowledging our past Underwood recipients. I see some of you all come into the meeting. It's such an honor to be among you all and to welcome Howard among the ranks. Yay. And so we are inviting everybody to join our after party reception with Dr. Rosenthal so we can interact with him. And this YouTube link that Aaron is sharing, our Zoom link that Aaron is sharing on YouTube, please join us. Just hop on the link and we'll see you soon. We're going to be open there and waiting for you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I was waving, but I forgot to turn my camera back on. Thanks, everybody. See you over on the other link.
Thank you.